Hallo liebe Hörer, willkommen zu einer neuen Podcast-Folge von den Caramels. Heute sprechen wir über Tee, Butter und Fett. Wir sind nicht weit gekommen, ohne uns Honig um den Bart zu schmieren. Jemand Religiösen steht vor dem Teuer, soll ich ihn reinlassen? Von den Puritanern zum Kult, hin zu Geheimbünder und wieder zurück? Wenn du oder ich die Welt regieren, was dann? Also, los geht's! The Caramels.
The Caramels. Welcome back from wherever it was you traveled to beforehand. Maybe a different universe. Maybe Rafid's apartment. Who knows which part of this universe you've been to? All we gotta say is, we're happy to have you back.
Thanks for the intro, Neil deGrasse. We were
Only
talking
thing about
science.
is
We were talking about
Galaxies.
interruptions. Interruptions and how we ace at it. We're the best at interrupting. And my friends are now demonstrating how not to do it. Feel free to jump in.
Whoever talks loudest wins. It's true. It's like the opposite of what we have discussions in an academic environment.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm with my friends, it's part of the fun. Is to be a little bit louder. It is. I like to get the maximum out of a conversation, especially in a format.
Yeah.
Someone might not be able to see our faces.
I think they definitely aren't.
And I was saying they should know what we're talking about.
So I was impressed. You guys were impressed that I got tea in this building.
That is very true.
I found tea.
You searched the barracks for...
Yes.
What kind of tea is it?
It's just, I think it's just loose leaf tea. It was from
So green?
No, I think it is actually.
Because all tea is originally
Can you
loose.
see it? Like, all That's a good observation. Okay.
This has been Tea, which looks like your piss, with Bibi. I think
Tea
all
always
this
looks like that.
green tea stuff is a scam. I don't know if it really helps.
What about green tea is a scam?
Everything besides its weight loss benefits, because that I've seen.
That works? Oh, I thought you were gonna say the weight loss thing. Like that's a scam.
Oh.
No, that is a scam.
That's the biggest like benefit they always say. Like green tea, good for weight loss.
But it's just that like I've seen back home, someone would bring a brand of tea. And, if something's working for you, you would like the others to know you should try this. So we have maybe like 10 people try it. For 2, it worked. Weight loss.
Okay.
So in my head, I feel like, 2 out of 10 for weight loss. It's not that bad. Yeah. But they also had like other reasons. Like some other person would say, no, you guys are trying this for weight loss. I'm doing this to stop balding. And it didn't help.
That's the first time I heard that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal, balding.
Green tea?
Green tea for balding.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think for weight loss it works. Like I've seen the transformation to be pretty, you would say, magical.
But then
like
I think
over
it also pairs with those people usually start eating differently and living healthy as well, exercising more and having green tea, and then they give green tea too much credit.
So it's like part of a regimen, but it's
it's
the more fancier part.
It's not like they're still doing everything they were doing before, but just having green tea on the side.
Yeah, maybe. True.
Have you heard about this, Brian? Like the green tea?
Rafid has talked to me about the tea industry back
yeah.
home.
The tea industry?
Yeah, the tea industry in Bangladesh.
What about it?
It's a big deal.
It's
a big export.
Yeah, so tea and outfits. So he was...
And tea leaf outfits.
He saw you come in with the tea and he was having his coffee. I don't have tea or coffee outside.
Nor do you eat it.
Not because you can chew it if you want. Yeah.
Eat coffee.
Get to the bottom of that, of the
Some
open
coffee
leaf.
beans.
Get that crunchy crunch on your molars.
But do you drink tea?
Yes,
Are you a tea drinker?
Yes, like I think since I was 3 or 4.
Really? Like what kind of tea? Because you're a brown person, so tea means tea. For our listeners, tea. I don't know. That's if you say tea. That okay. In Europe, when you say tea, usually you think this. Okay, like hot boiled water with loose leaf tea or something like that. But to a brown person, when you say tea, it could be this or chai. Chai.
Cha, which means tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Continue.
I
do you
know,
mean-
but chai as in what we mean by chai.
I did that for the audience because someone has to be a professional. I meant like if you say chai, is it so? What you're having right now, water, leaves, and that's it, right? So tea leaves and water is what you'd call
Yeah.
chai. So for us, we call it raw tea.
No, this. I would not call this chai. Like, as a native Urdu speaker, I would not call this chai.
So we would call it raw cha, if it's just leaves and water, and you could add some
guess.
sugar if you want. But what we'd also do is we add milk to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just
And
milk.
boil
and
the shit out of it.
milk, yeah, milk tea and
Sugar, cardamom,
some sugar, yeah.
some spices.
No spices.
Did you guys have that
Just
first?
these three things. So this is what we'd always have. And then you do the same thing for coffee as well.
But I always thought
So
tea
coffee
time,
and milk.
I always thought tea time was a British thing.
It is.
It is. But I think we
But they got the tea from us.
yeah.
I do know that, but who was first doing the tea times and with the milk?
I mean, we have the tea gardens and all that, so it's always been there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there was like a specific time of day where they would have the tea. It's just like, what Westerners do, they just like brand something that's already been there.
Yeah.
Which is fair, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, that's tea. So that's what I would always have, like since I was like 4 years old. And then when I grew up, it was like, am I old enough to have coffee like you guys? And to their eyes, still no. I can't have coffee. That's like for adults. So what I did was I add coffee beans, tea leaves, milk, sugar. So back home, I call it cha coffee or chai coffee.
Chai coffee.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
But isn't that what chai latte is as well? Like, isn't that the combination of coffee and
It
I
probably
have no
is, but I wouldn't know,
chai?
which is what Brian was saying, because I never go outside and I have coffee or tea. So all these fancy names, which people already know, I refuse to know them because I refuse to walk into that coffee place. Because I can just go home and have my chai. Because in my eyes and my mouth, what I have at home is the best. The way they do it, it's always the best. So I don't feel like I have to have it outside. And it's also like a discipline thing and an arrogance thing. Like I'll just limit myself to having it once at home, while everyone else, they enjoy their one at home, but they're also out at the office or like wherever they go, they're having tea everywhere. So for them, it's like in excess. But for me, if I can just hold back and then get the pleasure when I'm at home and I have my chai time or tea time, it's like at 5 or 6.
Boom.
I mean, after the tea stuff, we talked about our stuff for I think 20 minutes.
I mean, it's gonna be
Yeah.
a delicate cut. like butter.
Okay, wait.
You can just see the butter knife.
Wait.
I have a request from one of the listeners. I'm looking at my phone. They said, "Please, Brian, tell us about tea in China and Japan."
Oh yeah, great.
What
Let's
about
get back
it?
to butter.
Yeah.
You guys know the history of butter?
I don't.
No, I don't.
Me neither. We should. But I mean, it wasn't too long ago. Butter, soap, all that stuff, animal fat.
Animal
You
fat.
would just
Oh,
boil
soap,
up a
yeah,
nice vat of animal fat.
Wait, did I hear about soap and animal fat through Fight Club?
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely.
That's how I found that out. Like,
They rescue fat from the what's the liposuction plants. So you know lipos. We've all had it, right, guys?
as you
I've
all
had
know,
done a lot of procedures. You
You've
can
had
tell.
it,
You can
yes.
tell.
It's visible.
Yes.
that
All those
Botox.
Thailand trip. I mean,
Yeah.
I would go there into the jungle, find a pig, kill it myself, get all that fat.
get all that homemade
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah. I mean, it's all for the ass. Got to make it look good.
I had I think it was 4th grade in the U.S. All the students learned about pilgrims in the pioneer days. So the founding father stuff and people growing up on the range. And my grandma had a bar of soap, homemade soap, animal fat soap at her house that I was able to bring and show off. To the
Wow.
class. I was like, look at this.
How old was that soap?
I have no idea.
What do you do for the scent?
And there was no scent.
Oh, okay. Because this is funny. My roommate, she was talking about making shampoo yesterday for her parents.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that she would make it all. How do they say bio in the Germans?
Bio.
Bio?
Yeah, bio.
Yeah, so she'll do it all organic and bio and all that stuff. And I was like telling her about this history. I didn't make the Fight Club reference. I mean, we all know Fight Club. I think that's
Yeah.
where I first came to know about it. But I also came to know about it from like some documentaries, like World War shit. So because you couldn't, the rations, then they're not enough. You can't really buy stuff. So whatever animals you have, and when you slaughtered them, you take the fat and you make them. And I was reading a book a few days ago, and they were talking about all the things you add for the scent. It's a procedure. It's hard.
They add so much scent to so many things to make it attractive. Like so for example, I was talking about this with a friend, and we were talking about skincare products.
Yeah.
So how they always smell amazing, and that's one of the first things ladies compliment skincare products about. I guess
Wow, it smells so
and,
good.
yeah, it smells so good. But then a dermatologist once said to my friend, like, that stuff is not supposed to smell like anything. It's just skincare. So when they add something that makes it smell nice, that's added, chemicals to make you feel like this is the best product just because it smells nice. So that doesn't say anything about the quality of the product. So all these shops filled with fragrant skincare products, it doesn't make sense. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Like,
You should have given yourself a gap there. There was no gap.
I'll tap myself on the shoulder for that one.
But where would we find enhancements to be acceptable? Food? Like flavor and stuff.
You mean scent?
Yeah, I mean anything extra. I would say flavor is something like that.
Yeah, I mean most food just for shelf life is
shelf
added
life
stuff. But I mean your body doesn't need lotion. Technically.
Yeah, technically no.
Really?
It does in certain. Yeah, really. I mean, if you want to look young.
Yeah.
For a long time and you want smooth skin, then yeah, you can. Your body can adjust to the lotion. Like literally, it'll stop secreting oils on your skin to adapt to the amount of. It's like the same reason people say about chapstick.
Yeah.
The more chapstick you start to apply,
use them.
It seems like you start to use it more.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing like, oh, dude, this is a conspiracy.
My optician said that as well, but eye drops, like if you have dry eyes. So I have dry eyes, but she said don't use eye drops for too long because your eyes then start to think, oh, this person is hydrating the eyes for me, so I don't have to do anything anymore. So your body starts to, your body starts to adapt to all the products you start to use. The same with chapstick. That's creepy.
But objectively, we don't want ashy skin, do we?
No.
Okay.
Objectively.
Glad we could agree on that.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's still all right.
Your ashy skin in the winter months.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Has always been normal. Like it's always your skin adapting to the weather.
That's
so
true.
It's cracking and toughening up. So then we're softening in it, and then every time you step out, your skin's like, "What the? Are you kidding me?"
And it just freezes.
And then
you can break
the
it
skin
like
is
glass.
sapping the moisture from the air is sapping. It's like, give me the moisture from your hands.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
What about hair?
And we just keep feeding
Same.
No hair care needed.
I think you can use, because dandruff isn't fun.
True.
Yeah.
And is dry scalp. So I think shampoo. I'm like referencing a med student here.
Yeah.
Who I asked these same questions. And he was saying, I think shampoo once a month or something is a healthy rotation. But otherwise, your hair starts to dry itself out.
So it's just advertising that we think silky is
That is true, because I think I've seen people, because the whole sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle has become more popular. So I've actually seen YouTubers try this, like girls who try to not wash their hair and see what happens. Like eventually, I think there was this one girl who actually experienced that her hair, after being like super fatty and like oily, it started to become normal again. She used to wash it just with water, but eventually it just starts to adapt and the oiliness goes away and she just had normal hair. Because it's of all the products, like that's what. And then there's also healthier options to use.
Yeah, I went on a hair product bend for a bit while I was traveling, and like backpacking, and I wasn't gonna wash my hair ever. But then there was people giving me advice like, you should use coffee grounds.
Oh yeah, these kind of weird tricks,
kind of
you know,
and
grandma tricks. Like
I would like wash my hair with coffee grounds, and I was like, oh wow, this feels super nice, and my hair smells like coffee. And then like I had coffee grounds in my hair because
nice.
my hair was so naughty and stuff. So, but Rafid's actually his hair. We talked about your hair before.
Damn, his hair is silky, guys. For
our listeners in this room, I have the best hair.
He definitely has. Like, it's so silky.
Objectively speaking.
He could actually advertise Dabur Amla.
Yeah, but this
is
also like I'm
Desi.
It's a Desi reference. It's like a.
Can you say it again?
Dabur Amla.
Dabur
Amla.
Dabur is the name of the brand.
Dabur.
Dabur.
This is a
it's
Scrabble.
An oil.
This is a Scrabble.
It's an oil. It's an oil, and then apparently it makes your hair thicker and darker and stronger. So it's like a whole beauty regimen.
But I'm also like paying for the sins of my dad who's bald.
Oh yeah.
So the reason I like my hair's growing a lot right now, and anyone who sees it, they say, this is not how you grow your hair. You're supposed to trim it and grow it so it looks appropriate. Now you look like you're auditioning for George of the Jungle. So what I tell them is that this is like my personal mission, that to let this thing grow. I mean my hair for 1 year, not touch it, like nothing. Just.
Are you really gonna do that?
Yeah, I mean I'll grow it for like April.
When did you start this?
So last time I had a haircut was March.
Really?
Do you remember his hair when we first all met?
It was longer, right?
No, it was short.
No,
it was short. But weeks before you saw me, before I got on the plane, same. So I'll just grow it out and then I'll get a haircut. Because I know that eventually, like my father, I will also have a stadium on my head. But before that happens, I just want a few pictures to prove that no, liar,
dreams can
I
come
also
true.
had hair.
Yeah.
So this is just that. This
Enjoy
is,
it while you got it.
Yeah, like a head full of anxiety in the form of like silky dreams.
So you must love it with all your heart.
Just like all dreams.
Yeah, but it's the only good thing about me though, so I'm pretty precious about it. I don't have a good physique or anything, or even brain. So
you said you were working on your abs, so I don't know about that.
And you got Will Shakespeare.
I mean, I have abs, but you can't see them; they're shy. I can't see abs. Like you can see 3 abs. Let's say that the top 2 and 1 on the second tier.
Okay. Nice, dude.
Is that not acceptable?
I don't know what
I needed a man to say, it is acceptable. Now you stop crying.
I was trying to compliment your face more, man.
Yeah,
for face, it has to be you. I always say that Brian's got the refugee eyes. Like, you know, that woman.
The refugee eyes?
I mean, like, there was a lady on a magazine cover from Afghanistan, and they lost her.
The lady?
Yeah.
The woman.
With the eyes. Yeah. So Brian has that, like, those eyes.
Right now, Brian gave me that look, but...
That was the strain that came from my body in order to poke my eyes out.
Yeah. I mean, if Brian worked for the man, like a bank or anything, and we know we're supposed to hate them, but if he was the teller at the bank, and I go to the window, all he has to do, he doesn't even have to sell me on the plan.
Sir, your bank account is empty.
Yeah. I just have to like look at his eyes, and I'm like, how much money?
No, sir, you have
do I have
money.
to bleed?
Oh, okay. You can give me 20 more euros.
Okay. That's fair.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. But I'll come back tomorrow to see you.
Brian has a friendly face.
He does.
He has the face of a friend.
That's coming from
like
the friendliest.
From Gatsby,
that's
I think.
coming from the friendliest face in Göttingen.
True.
This is the kind of face you can't turn away. Like if you came to the door, like, excuse me, sir, I need a place to stay. I wouldn't be able to shut the door in your face. I'd just be like,
oh,
you know what? Come on in.
Come on in, stranger.
Couch. You want some tea?
So I would have made a good Jehovah's Witness.
Very good Jehovah's Witness.
Very good.
Yo, did I guys ever tell you about this time? Like, there was a Jehovah's Witness at my door, and they had like super cool invitation cards, and they had Jesus on it with open arms, and it just said "Follow me." And on the back side of the card, it had a Twitter handle.
What? Updating.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Have you ever actually had the conversation with them?
Well, so
I was about to ask
it
that.
was an old man.
so
It
fun
was an
now.
old man and a guy and a dude. Like they were both going door, at knocking at the doors,
Selling Jesus.
selling Jesus and the products and
And his products, sorry.
and his products.
Trademark
Human
pending.
trafficking.
He published one
business.
book, I guess, like very famous. So they were just like, yeah, are you happy with the faith you have right now? Because like that's how they started. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, do you want to come in for coffee? I was just being open about like let's talk. I mean, it's fine to both have different religions. I'm happy with the lifestyle I have right now.
Let's have a convo.
Let's have a conversation. Just come in. Let's have tea and coffee and just like chill and just talk, And they were just like very. They were like, no, but there is a way to repent and. You can find Jesus and life can be better. And he was really going that I was being very friendly and very open and accepting about our differences, but he was just very resistant about accepting my hospitality. And I don't know, he was just very resisting the niceness. He was just like, yeah, but there's a way to, come back to Jesus and you can repent. And I was like, I just wanted to be friends.
didn't have to say that,
I just
bro.
want to be friends. I just want to talk.
They were like, no.
What's the word where you have like mullahs, like
Mullahs, yeah.
people from the mosque? So they, what's the name for their boarding school? Like where the kids go and they study madrasa. What do you call it?
Madrasa, yeah.
Okay, so I have that same thing.
Religious schools, for those who don't know what that is.
Yeah. So, see, your story was so nice. For me, we have like mosques everywhere back home. So like wherever you go, you can hear the tunes. So what happened was when I was young, we had a mosque nearby. Every mosque, by the way, is nearby in Bangladesh. They would come to your house to ask for donations. And when you give them a donation, they will say like, we will pray for you and your loved ones who have passed away, stuff like that. We're doing this for the kids. And they will tell you like the details. We need this for the stairs or we need this, whatever.
Yeah.
I was so scared of them because I associate these guys with the guys who would show up in the morning to slaughter your animals for Eid.
Whoa.
So for me, it's always the scariest thing. And still to this day, it makes me super uncomfortable. I sleep through that period. So when I wake up, the roads are all clean. There's no blood, nothing.
Oh, that is so interesting.
Self-delusion
I
at its
always
best.
thought there must be kids who are traumatized by it, on
You're
Eid
looking at
Day in Islamic countries where you just like slaughter the animals just in houses or a street or, any corner. And then it must be kids who are not excited about that, because if it's part of your culture, you just don't go like, oh, this is disgusting, because it's part of your culture. This is how you're raised. So I remember once we got like when we were in Pakistan, my dad was like, let's slaughter an animal, do that. While we're here, fresh meat for the house. So they got like a goat or something. And then they did that in the house. But I remember being disgusted by it because I've never, ever had seen that in the Netherlands. So I was like, what the fuck is this?
Also a sense of pride when the dad thinks my child is old enough to hold a sword or whatever it is.
And then
you
barely
slit the
holding
throat.
it. Like
And the cow's like crying. But these guys, they would show up all throughout the year. So I would always be reminded of this murderer. So
this murderer.
he would show
Grim
up.
Reaper.
He would show up with his
I swear that's
with
actually
his
a very good
subject or
concept.
something, like a little kid from the boarding school, like a madrasa, and they'll come together. Because if you see the kid, now you feel bad. Now I feel like I have to pay for your food, something like that. My mother, who would remember like all the ways I hurt her and I was naughty that whole week, whenever she'd see them at the door, she would pull me by the arms and take me to the door and say, "I'm giving you away." And this would go on for like, I think
Damn.
like my mom, right? No, this is real.
Brown parents are...
Right now, she would deny all this, but I think until I was like 7 or 8, because by the time you're 8 or 9, you can fight back. So now their parents are scared. But till 7 or 8, like she would always like pull me to the door, and it was like you have to walk through the hall. So in my head, I mean, your houses in your memory are always big. So for me, it's a long walk. So it's a long walk of just me crying and saying no. And she'd pull me to the door, open the door, do the conversation, and she'll just say, yeah, take him or something. I'll say, no, I'll be nice. So still to this day, I'm like so horrified. So your Jehovah's Witness story was so nice, and all it reminded me of like was the horror of like my mother giving me away.
Brown parents are like fear
Like a
is their
stranger I don't trust,
currency.
but also a stranger I know who's got a sword for a best friend, and they use it once a year to kill people. I mean, animals.
Wait, what?
No, that's a totally different thing.
That totally went over my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story of Jehovah's Witness. But I wanted to ask, like, how does that conversation go? Like, what's the goal when they show up at the door? What do they do?
I don't know.
Out of the 100 people, I'm sure they get one person who's like, yeah, I'll come this Sunday.
Oh,
I'll come check you guys
sure.
out.
Okay.
What's your guys' show again? Oh, sorry. What's your service? And yeah, they I think that's how they randle up. Sorry. That's how they, I don't know. What's the word for it?
Scam?
Scam? I don't know the word. There's a word out there for it. Get people to come.
Oh, like it's the game where I make you realize that you love me, and you have to pay for that love. Or scam.
I know what you mean. I can't come up with the word either. Anyway, so they take the invite and they go to these meetings, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Just like a church service?
Yeah, like a
So you're part of the parish or something?
Bible reading or...
I can't remember. I've taken the book, been like, thanks, and then just kind of like put the book by all the other religious books I have. It's like, all right, more religious stuff.
Special shelf.
You would know this, Brian. What's the...
Recruit.
Recruit, yes.
Recruit?
Yeah, you know, like Scientology.
Boom. Recruit.
Jehovah's Witness, they're the Scientology before it was cool.
Nah,
No.
No, the guys just support me on this.
No.
Okay.
Scientology is a different chapter.
I have. It's so scary.
There's no going clear.
And I still like Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah.
But bad dad, though. Yeah.
Baghdad?
Bad dad? Bad father.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Shame on you.
I heard Baghdad as well.
I heard Baghdad.
I had a question. So, what's that one thing?
I kind of want to go back to you getting by your mom.
I know, but
like,
before I go there,
giving away.
I know, but there's this thing you just
said.
said.
Come back to like nice.
What's the one? They are religious. I think they're primarily
Mormons?
from Holland or maybe Germans. They live in the U.S. and they don't have electricity or anything. They make their own food and
the Amish.
Amish, right?
Amish, yeah.
So I was gonna ask, like,
you want to know about the Amish?
No. I was gonna ask, like, what are their religious affiliations?
I think they're a branch of Christianity for the most part. But
Is it like extreme ones, like Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, it's not even really about the religion. It's more about
the lifestyle.
Yeah, the infusion of Puritan.
Yeah, Puritan. I think
I just know things from films, so I don't know.
What?
I just know things from films. Like there was a good film, like
Shyamalan.
Also, Witness, 1985, Richard Gere.
I've never seen that one.
With the Amish lady he falls in love with, and you will too. Just the silence in the film.
Amish communities are actually pretty contemporary in the way they have their community structured in relation to the rest of society. So basically, they do their own thing. Like they have these rules, like certain forms of electricity are not allowed, and clothing style, you must have your beard this certain way. And there's all these other things. But Amish communities are more efficient than like almost any other.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Is it because everyone's working together?
You should see these time lapses. No, they're just like really organized. Like they'll put up a barn, like a huge barn, in like 16 hours, which takes like most construction. And they have like these. Actually, when I was doing this internship with FEMA, which is the Emergency Management Agency, they literally went and watched how Amish communities respond to disasters, because if there's like a tornado that comes through, Amish communities have already built these like ditches around their houses and everything, and they'll just like lay down in the ditch while this huge like 100-mile-an-hour wind storm.
So they're like doomsday people?
Not doomsday, but they're just like prepared.
Yeah, they're just very organized.
Yeah.
I guess eventually people just crave structure. So if a community has that figured out for themselves, that's very, I guess, other communities can learn from that. I mean, you don't have to agree with what they believe or how they live or you know, like the way they use electricity maybe is not optimal for how we want to use it now.
There was like a reality show even that they had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like tons of Amish reality shows actually. But there was one where the kids, once they hit like 16 or 17, I think, they can have a choice to leave the community, and you can go and just go to school and stuff. And
interesting.
Be normal.
Because do they get homeschooled then?
Yeah, homeschool. But I think they also have No, they have communal schools. Like they have a teacher and everything. Mm-hmm. But it depends on the every Amish. Not all Amish communities are the same.
So would it be so like you're at a school and then there's an Amish person, just school girl, schoolboy, just that.
It would be a former Amish community school kid.
Okay.
So like
Oh, so like with a full mustache and beard, not with just a beard.
It's a good question because I don't know any instances where Amish kids are going to school with the rest of the kids.
That's what I mean. Like they mingle then?
Yeah, they'll like take the horse and buggy into town.
Oh, wow.
So that's the giveaway.
Yeah, that's the giveaway.
The outfits. What about the outfits?
You'll hear them. You're like, oh, there's the Amish. Yep. The Amish, they wear like suspenders. Yeah. They wear top hats. Yeah. Their beards are cut. All their hats are bowl cuts. So literally putting the bowl on the top and then cutting around. That's the giveaway. And then the women all have to wear like the dresses, Burn Churner outfits from like.
So just clothes from
colonial
paintings.
America. What?
Clothes from paintings.
Yeah, pretty much they're walking paintings. But like they're cool. I mean, they sell furniture. That's
their thing.
They sell like they have
carpenters.
When I was living in Maryland, they had this Amish. Every Sunday they had we would just go to the Amish.
The Amish.
It was basically a warehouse in town, so we didn't like leave the city. We went to this warehouse and they just literally had like cookies and pies and snacks and pizza and it'd be all these Amish people just like selling food, furniture, gifts and stuff. And it was awesome. It was like so awesome actually.
I think that is interesting that there's a community who just functions properly for their doing, and obviously it's not like the whole. It's every organized community has its minus, you know, like the disadvantages of having how they live. It's not even about agreeing with what they do, but I can in a way appreciate like the effort people put in to live a life by their rules, like, you know, like so structured and just staying by it.
Most people.
Why do I hear just cult like in my ears? Like I this is what anytime I see like well organized people, I just feel like they're just preparing for the apocalypse.
Doomsday. Like you're saying.
What does that like? Can you see the connection, or is it just me?
I see the connection, but people kind of forget that most people used to live out in the country, and not everyone lived in the city, where most of the extras parts of your life were like things that we kind of have outsourced. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to worry about. And back then you did. So you had like a bunch of farming communities, which were like kilometers away from each other. So then you'd send your kids off to school, where there was one school, like, and all the farm kids would go. But back home, you had your family working the whole day on the farm. And then when they had the next generation, that generation would just build a barn right next door. Yeah. And then you would just slowly grow until you're a community.
It's just natural, rich, but they kept on doing
land-wise
what they did. That's basically
the community kept growing, and then I mean, at least that lifestyle was completely separate from the cities.
But do they have like a leader, or because when I think cult, I think they're following.
So Amish are not a cult.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not a cult. But when I hear cult, I think Scientology.
So many different kinds of cult stuff.
Yeah, so many different types. But I mean, like, you know, in that sense.
That's always a good example, the Scientology.
Scientology.
Come on, get in on my ship. And then start cleaning the floors.
I'm still amazed how people like Tom Cruise are part of that kind of stuff.
I think more so than that, we should just, like, admire their persuasion, like, skills. Like, just to sell people on this idea that you are going up there, you will take a spaceship and you'll go and there's a planet for you, and they have like systems you have to like do all these tests.
It's like a level you have to go like up.
They built a system to get vulnerable people in the worst moments of their life to
also very financially motivated, like
true.
Very financially, like most communities would be like, oh no, money is not an issue, and back, you would find out that money is a kind of issue here. But Scientology is very upfront about it. Like it is a financial kind of thing what they deal with.
They're recognized by the government as a religious institution.
So they get all the tax breaks and all that stuff.
Of course they are.
So they are in no way in cahoots with the Illuminati. See how I said that?
Yeah, you went there.
That tells you like how little I know.
I don't know, man.
I mean, what is an Illuminati?
Like any conspiracy shit with. Like,
that's how we use it now.
That's how it is
but then
now.
I don't read much, so all I know is like Dan Brown and some.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And some like Nat Geo shows and History Channel shows.
I guess Dan Brown is the one who introduced me to Illuminati stuff, but
I mean, most people would if you said Illuminati, you're like almost talking as one organization. But if you described what most people think the Illuminati is, which is a group of wealthy individuals controlling and manipulating the world, then most people would say, "Oh yeah, that's what happens."
Are these group members conscious of each other? Like we are all in the same group?
I mean,
like do they have business cards that says member of?
I can only speak on the U.S. economy.
Go ahead.
And historically speaking, the U.S. economy and those who generated the highest industrial booms and economic growths were in awareness of each other, and we're always talking to each other about. We'd just meet. So it wasn't the Illuminati. It was, hey, did you know I own 20% of the workforce in this country?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like
I own
going
25%.
to a club and hanging out.
Let's go smoke some cigars and talk about how we're gonna build railroads.
But it's fashionable to call it the Illuminati.
Yeah, so you call Illuminati, it feels like this extra conspiracy. But then it just takes away from the fact that like the whole capitalist system really does encourage this.
and consists of just a select few people that mainly, because you can't just become a part of something like that just because you want to. That's not how it works.
But what makes it more so than that is there's a history. So you do get invited, or maybe there's a pledge system and then you have to be part of it, or is that the Freemasons?
I suppose. Oh,
that's
God.
completely different. Those are secret societies.
Yeah,
secret societies are way different from.
My bad. In my head, when I said Illuminati, I put that in the secret society.
So you mean clubs? Because actually, there's a really interesting history surrounding like clubs and the formations of clubs throughout societies. Like,
I guess in Europe they were mainly organized by scientists.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
I think scientists were involved in that, but those secret societies, which of wealthy scientists, let's say. But I have to say I don't know enough to say more stuff about this.
Yeah, because then secret societies is way different than the club.
Sounds so
Would you guys rather be part of a club or a secret society?
Isn't the same what we're talking about?
And if you're...
No, I was saying there's a difference.
There's a difference.
So like
it's
Freemason,
exclusive.
So people think Freemasons is a secret society, but it's not. Like everyone knows about Freemasons.
Mm-hmm.
Freemasonry has been around, and people have always talked about it. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows the symbols, and it was never at a point this secret society of individuals.
But do you mean because we all know about it, that's why it's not a secret society?
No, I mean before that, like it wasn't like Dan Brown unearthed this secret society system. Look, everyone.
Yeah, it's been. Oh, okay, I get it.
That was a plot device for him.
This was just historically
public knowledge. So like
it was
everyone
literally
knows
like
about
I said,
it.
a group of people meeting, mostly men in this instance. Group of guys meeting, and then hey, we should give our group titles a name. Oh, the Freemasons, and people can trace back the lineage of these group members to the groups before and before.
But I guess what I'm saying is, guys, I think we should be part of a club, like a secret society, and make it secret.
Yeah.
Right? I think we should do that.
I'm on board.
Are you on board, Bibi?
How long is it going to be a secret in this era?
I mean, we will always say that we are part of a secret society, but we don't tell people the details.
Right.
And eventually, if you guys have kids, they'll also be part of it.
Like, what did we get together to discuss?
And let's talk about it on the radio.
Yeah, let's talk about the secret societies.
On a podcast.
When does it go? I think it's always maybe there's a difference between the secret clubs and the secret societies.
So the society, that word being the operative word here, right?
Yeah, meaning your club has some your aim is societal.
With society.
If you're but whereas if you're a secret club, you just want to play video games in peace.
yeah.
And you don't want your sisters to come into the room or brothers to sneak into your room while you're get out of here.
So yeah,
we're playing.
But
so do we want a treehouse, or do we want to like dress up like we're in Sherlock Holmes times, meet up in the dark?
Oh, I'm up for that anytime.
Yeah. So we need a
3-piece suit, like a
No, I think the biggest difference is what our aims are, which defines whether you're a secret club
just
or a secret
world
society.
domination and stuff.
World
like
domination.
So we want to meet and talk about world domination.
Yes, I think that's always a good idea.
Are you not into that?
I mean,
dude, that's what's
boring.
hip these days.
That's
World domination sounds boring to me.
Does it? Isn't it cool though?
And a lot of work.
I mean, we'll have minions though. I mean, we can have minions who will like do the work.
Obviously, you don't do the
you're
dirty work yourself.
So we're pulling strings.
So what would you argue was if it's not world domination?
How would you like it?
I would like to meet and just talk about schemes. Okay, let's
like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, or like the anarchy. You're like, hey,
So
how
just
do
a bunch of
how do we
Eddie
create
Bravos
chaos?
getting together.
What?
Okay. So world domination. How about world domination through anarchy? That's what I mean.
Do we have it like
overthrow the system?
I don't think we have that in us. I don't have that in me. I'm not that smart for like anarchy. You have to be.
Oh yeah.
You have to be like
Scratch
super
anarchy.
knowledgeable. Yeah. We can always talk about it.
Wow, you gave up really fast on that one.
No, I'm just realistic.
I also need to look into
Wait,
anarchy
that requires
again.
IQ.
Open the dictionary.
I know anarchy used
The
to be
last
a
time I
big
heard
deal.
anarchy was in The Dark Knight.
I've watched V for Vendetta too many times.
Yes.
V for Vendetta is actually I was listening to
It's on Netflix now.
A philosopher, yes, it is. I can't remember his name. It's like Slavish. He's like the biggest philosopher.
Is he from Greece?
I don't know where he's from.
Is it Zizek?
I think he might be Russian. But anyways, he was saying, I'll get his name. He basically was saying V for Vendetta is cool and all.
Yeah.
But no one ever finishes V for Vendetta, and then adds the epilogue how it all worked out afterwards. So I love V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
I love that movie. And
have
you read the graphic novel?
Yes, I have.
It's amazing.
It's really good.
It's pretty good. Not to say it's like crazy different from the movie, but he basically is like, yeah. So when we get to the end and you see everyone rush the Capitol building or whatever, and we took back the country. Okay, now what?
But I guess
what
like
systems are we supposed to use?
For the writers, it was probably just about the show and not the consequences, like what happens.
It's never about the consequences, but when people view V for Vendetta, they use that movie as motivation for their political opinions and their political views on totalitarian systems or whatever, or like capitalism. And
especially capitalism.
Yeah, they'll be like, look where capitalism can lead. This movie's an allegory for what's real.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, shouldn't the allegory include what to do next? Like where does this go from here?
That's a good.
I mean, that would be a
point.
bonus feature to an allegory. We don't always expect it to.
It's just it's never expected almost because
would be nice though,
But that's the battle then in the whole story, right? Like how does he get from the creature he has become to what he does for to free the people? But after that, I think we are really to assume that it worked out. That it's nobody said it doesn't. It's the whole, how does he get there? How does he get the people there? What does he, it's the whole journey. I mean, nobody watches a movie after Spider-Man saves the day or something.
No, you know what though? But you could play V for Vendetta so you play this, you start the movie, you watch it to the end, and then you could just start it again, and it easily could have been understandable. Like, oh, they didn't actually end up fixing anything. They just let the same system repeat itself. Okay, let's see if someone can save them again.
Yeah.
Or was it about the fact that at that time sequels weren't that popular? So in the last
the graphic novel doesn't
everyone
have
just seemed to fade away. But now we see what happens afterwards. Maybe they didn't back then. They didn't feel like writing another thing and doing a sequel.
I'm just talking. So this philosopher brings up the point in general, how everyone sees issues with the system and no one has solutions with the system. So when you talk about capitalist systems and the inherent issues there that are with them, nobody actually has the next two. So we'll make movies and write books about about dystopian futures, like the Hunger Games, let's say. Like seriously, the Hunger Games, the movie.
That's so dark, that movie, actually, or the story in itself. I when I watched it, it made me sick, the first one.
So then you finish watching the movies and everything's
back at
normal. But if anything, that movie captures the moment because these no spoilers, I guess, but the ending isn't happy.
It isn't.
This is a bigger conversation. Like, what is the motive behind a movie? I mean, it's not supposed to be taken.
I guess I think the bigger question I'm trying to focus on isn't about I'm just talking about how, in general, no one ever wants to show the post-fixed problem. Like, how do we get to this? How do we grow from here?
So we're just waiting for the aliens to show up and show us how it's done, essentially.
Yeah, might as well.
And on that note, I think it's a good point for us to end this episode of the Caramels.
I agree. Have you heard of the sperm whales? Hallo liebe Hörer, ihr habt gerade unsere 3. Podcast-Folge zum Thema Tee, Butter und Fett, Puritaner, Kult und Geheimbunde gehört. Bis zum nächsten Mal, eure Caramels.